He's live. What's going on, people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your boy, Uncle Dallas. I am here and I am ready to do what I know we need to have done. So I'm getting everybody ready, everybody set, getting everybody into position so that we can do what we need to do. Yep, there we go. So join us if you're on Instagram. Meet us on YouTube. That link below will help you get there. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, join us there. Wherever you are, join us because it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. So let's get some water. So today our subject matter will be take it by force. So let's get some water because I know everybody's gonna start complaining. You clearing your throat. Welcome to live TV. Today is take it by force. That is what we're gonna talk about today. So that's my water. Put it in the trash can. He made it. Jumper shot. So today is Take It By Force. Make sure you join us on YouTube. We're going to change some things because I'm watching what's happening, and what's happening to us is we are attempting to do some great and wonderful things. But what is happening is we've been taught a passive belief instead of a spiritual belief. And so today we're going to talk about a spiritual belief. Check your emails. The notes are there. If you do not have the notes will come to you a little bit later on. I'll get them to you because I sent them by email. So check your email. Today's conversation will be about taking it by force. I'm Uncle Dallas. Let's do this. Okay, I'm Uncle Dallas, guys. This is Pastor Dallas with the Higher Standards Organization. Welcome to Sunday Session. This is what we have on our Sunday morning service, the Sunday morning meetings, of however you want to talk about it. That is what this is all about today. So for those of you that are new to our organization, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of us. Thank you for being here. And I appreciate you for everything that is happening in your life and everything that you're allowing to take place in this situation. So I am going to do my very best to make sure that you guys have everything that you need and that everything happens that you need to happen. While we're talking today, I need you to go to Ephesians. You know what? Let's go to Matthew 11 and 12, and then we're going to talk about that. Let's deal with Matthew 11 and 12. All right, let's deal with Matthew 11 and 12. Now, what we have to understand is, that most of us are living in a life where we are allowed to do things more so than given the opportunity to do things. And I'm going to tell you some of the things about the United States and some of the things about the world that you probably did not know. Number one, the thing you did not know is if you say nothing about it, you're complicity is not a protection. Just not saying anything about it because you hope it's going to work out doesn't work out. That is an admission that you want it to happen. For example, if I walk into your house and I take something from you, I try to maybe steal your car or take your key. This is good. I come in and I take your bracelet. I come in the house, I take your bracelet. If you don't say anything about me taking your bracelet, if you don't say anything about me taking the bracelet is mine. When the police come to you, now this is not the law, but this is what being complicit means. The police don't say anything because they say, well, why didn't you say something to her to tell her it wasn't hers? Because it was in your house. Why didn't you say that's not mine? Well, I don't have to say it's mine because it's in my house. That's what most people believe when we talk about things like all things work together for the good and all those things. You believe that people should understand that. That should be logical. That should make sense. It should make sense that if it's in my house, it belongs to me. But that's not how that works. Now, when you start talking about things of the spirit, you talk from a different standpoint. When you talk about things in the spirit, let me let this up a little higher. When you talk about things in the spirit, you talk about from a standpoint of people. There we go, guys. When you talk about things in the spirit, you talk about from a standpoint of people are going to take it unless you stop them from taking it. Okay? It's going to be taken unless you stop them from taking it, because what you have to realize is there is an enemy. There is a enemy or a contradictive movement, contradictive force that is trying to take it. So what has happened over the years is you've been convinced that that contrary or that contradictory movement is necessary. You've been convinced that it is a part of what's going on. You have to see it. It has to be there. So you're convinced that your body feeling the way it feels, the things happening the way they happen, you're convinced that that's the way it's supposed to be. And because you're convinced that is the way it's supposed to be, you call that common sense. So you now make it a sense of truth in your life. It is common sense. I need you to understand this before I go any further. So it becomes a common sense of force. Now, follow me now. A common sense of force. So, what you are living a life of battling, you're in a battle that you didn't know that you were in, but if you don't battle, the person that is battling you wins by natural. It wins by natural. You've thrown in the towel, you've given up. You've thrown in the towel, you've given up. So, this is what happens to most of us. You follow me? You throw in the towel, and when you throw in the towel, and that's what it looks like. You throw in the towel, you go, well, why is this happening in my life? Why is this happening in my life? We're going to start dealing with the New World Order. For those of you that were not at our retreat, I talked about the New World Order. I need you to understand something. I need you to understand that what's happening toward you is going to keep happening until you stop it. Example, I was talking to one of my daughters this morning, and she said to me, Dad, I got a headache. And I said, okay, the headache is not yours. So that means I'm going to invade territory. Follow me. I'm going to invade territory until you tell me I can't go any further. You follow me? I'm going to invade territory until you tell me I can't go any further. Now, there's something I'll call collision. It's a collision course. So what you're looking at right now is everything in your life you have allowed to go as far as it has. Okay, get me now. Everything in your life you have allowed to move as far as it has moved. So if they got to a point, now I know that's going to sound kind of crazy, and it has to happen the same way in my life. It's happening in every single person's life right now. You have allowed this to get this far. Why? Because you're ignorant doesn't mean you're stupid. Somebody write that down. Because I'm ignorant doesn't mean I'm stupid. See, we think ignorant and stupid are the same thing. Ignorant simply means you didn't know. Stupid means you just decided you didn't want to know. You follow me? Ignorant, because you're ignorant to something or there's a lack of knowledge does not mean you're stupid, meaning that they can't come treat you anyway. But what has happened is there's territory that has been taken. This is the key to where Matthew is. So let's go down this road for a quick second, okay? This is the key to where Matthew is talking to you about. So pay attention to this right here. Now, we're going to talk about something called collision course. This is a class that I've taught already. For those of you that are part of the mentoring course, you already know about this collision course. And it says the kingdom of heaven suffers violence and the violent take it by force. Now, here's what I need you to understand. When I looked at that passage, and even as I looked at it today, it said the kingdom of heaven suffers violence and the violent take it by force. So what is happening is in this process, you are now operating in a place where you are being forced to fight a battle because you don't know you have the strength to win. You follow me? You're forced to fight a battle because you don't know you have the strength to win. Got it. It's really that simple. Now, I'm going through this because I want you guys to see the different slides. So now, here is where the challenge takes place. So follow me here. Check this out. Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, in the 1st verse says this: He and you who had, slow down. You he hath quickened who were dead in trespasses and sin. Herein, in times past, you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that worketh in the children of disobedience. Now, I need you to pay attention to this right here. You, he has placed in a position where you are now, according to the spirit, have been walking this way so long. So here's how it works. Now, get on a baseball field. Anywhere you go, there is an enemy. The enemy is equal to you, so you have to practice and study and do all these things so that you can now win the baseball, win the battle. You can now win these things. So let's make this make sense to you. You were conditioned to lose the battle. Why? Because what happened to you, and follow me very closely, what happened to you, and I don't have any of my prop. Oh, here we go. This is our prop today. Okay, here is our prop. Here's the prop. What happened to you is they made you think that just because you were this cup, that you were equal to this cup. Or just because you were this cup, you were equal to this cup. So what they did is even the playing field. Now, who is they? Religion, society, even the playing field. So now, look at kids, when they play sports, there's no longer the kid that does the best. It's the kid that just enters into the race. So you don't have to be better. You just have to be consistent. So what they've done is they've lowered the standard for the people that are great, and they've increased the ability for those that are not great. Now, what does that do? That keeps me from working hard to win the battle. It means just be right there in the middle. Don't do anything. Just be right there. Yeah, this is happening to you every day. Check your school system out. Anybody that's a teacher. Right now, it's not about A's and B's. We don't want to judge the kids. You know why? Because here's why. What has happened to you is you've been set in a system that was never designed for you to excel. It was a system so that you could be a worker, a drone. So now you go to church and you're the same thing. So what happens is they'll give you a little title, so you go from being deacon to head deacon. So now the authority that you didn't get in the world, you now have in the church. So you treating people like they treated you because you were never delivered or set free. So you go to school and you were not able to excel. Instead of sitting down and saying, okay, let's pull the greatness out of you, you weren't moving along with the drone, so I got to make you operate like everybody else. So you walked according to the course of this world. And this world is not about you winning. It's about you staying under the radar enough that you can get beaten, so that you can be defeated. I tell people all the time, well, I don't stop saying what you don't like, because what you don't like does not do but keep you in the position of mediocrity. Well, I don't like water. Then that means that water is something that you're able to utilize to get you to where you need to be. Well, I don't like to be in front of people. Maybe you need to be in front of people, because what has happened is your ability to go to the next level has been conditioned out of you. Your power to get to the next level has been conditioned out of you. You are being conditioned out of that place. And so it says, take it by force. Now, what I want you to also pay attention to in this, let's go back to this. Sandpaper to polish. I like that. I like that. Okay. Let's go back to this. Let's check this out. Now, here's where you get your challenge. Watch this right here. Watch this right here. Ephesians. And it said, and you he have quickened, who were dead in trespasses and sins. Here in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that worketh in the children of disobedience. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Follow this here. Follow this right here. There are two words that you pay attention to, that's quicken and trespasses. Trespasses. And they're right there. If you need to screenshot it, go ahead and screenshot it. I'll leave it here for a second. Now, it says quicken, to give increase of life, thus of physical life. Then it says trespasses, a lap, a deviation from the truth and uprightness. A deviation from the truth and uprightness. I love this thing. I love it, y'all. I love it. I love it. Now, here's what happens. You were taught to deviate from the truth. and you were taught in 3 different levels. Now, let's get to my notes. Let's get to my notes here. Let's get to our notes. We were taught in 3 different levels. First level you were taught in is limitations. First thing you were taught was your limitations. When you were a child, you were taught your powers. When you became an adult, you were taught your limitations. Because as a child, I can mold you, but as an adult, I have to control you. So when you were a child, you were taught, you can do it, baby. You can ride that bike. You can do it, baby. You can walk that walk. You can do it, baby. You can do anything you want to do. That's what you were taught. But then you became an adult, and when you became an adult, like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Why? Because now you're in the power of making decisions and coming into control. So you were taught limitations of the mind. You were taught limitations of the physical and limitations of the spirit. Now, if you got your notes, these notes, that's already, I put them in your email. If you got the notes in the email, you already have these notes. So what is limitations of the mind? What is limitations of the mind? Those of you that are part of this, limitations of the mind. Limitations of the mind. These are blocks or hindrances designed to leave a mark in your mind, created to bring control to an otherwise powerful being. Your mind limitations are to stop you from walking in control. Diabetes is not a control, but I feel it and I see it. What's happening is they're going to give you more drugs. They're going to give you more drugs. The more drugs they give you, the more weaker you become. Why? Because here's something you probably don't know, and most of us don't. I didn't know. You have to realize that all the chemicals that are used to make drugs, beside petroleum, which is oil, are already inside of your body. So petroleum, which is what you use to make gas, is the basis of every drug, most of the drugs that you take. So what happens is you're putting a foreign substance into your body. And what petroleum does is hinders the natural flow of your body. Didn't know this? I know, but I'm throwing it at you now. So that means that every time you take a drug, there's a part of that drug that is a foreign substance in your body. Your body, just by your body now, this has nothing to do with prayer, has nothing to do with supernatural, has nothing to do with spiritual church or religion. It has to do with what God created. He created a system within your body to fix anything that comes into your body. For those of you that know the teaching on church, you know that you're not the church, you're the tabernacle. So anything that touched the tabernacle by system of God, anything that touched the tabernacle is destroyed. So what has to take place is you have to now destroy what is mentally already strong. Why? Because the power of who you are is the system that is set within your mind that they don't understand. Your mind has the capability to cause chemical balances to happen in your body so that you can in turn heal yourself. The reason you're overweight, my brother, the reason you're overweight, my sister, is because the power that you have within you to keep you thin has been siphoned and controlled by, honey, go stay in the house. Don't go outside and watch TV. Don't go outside. When we were kids, we didn't know anything about obesity. Why? We were constantly outside running. Okay, we got to stop that. Why? Because now you begin to walk into your power. You were able to throw a basket, shoot a basketball, throw a baseball, throw a football. All those things were parts of your system. So when we put foreign entities into a naturally strong system, we hinder the flow of the system. Follow me. So that means that naturally your mind has the capability to create wealth, to create healing, to create processes, so I have to now put a foreign entity into that. And that entity has to weaken your mind so you don't operate at the level of your full power and potential. Mental limits are the ability to keep telling you something enough till you believe that you're it. You're believing what is telling you are instead of believing what you are. Believing what you've been told instead of believing what you are. The reason relationships are so crazy because we have been taught one thing. Even in the Bible, it says something opposite. But what we do is we've been diluted there. So they can't get you one way. So the second thing is we separate you from the power. So that's the second part. The second part is physical. Physically is separating you from the power. Mentally, they're diluting the flow of the spirit to your mind. Physically, they separate you from the power. So husbands can't be in the household. Why? Because the power source together messes up the whole system. So what you have to realize is now they got to say, oh, women, you need men. No, you don't need men, women. Men need you. If you look at the process, you'll understand that. And if you follow the study, you'll understand it. I'm doing a booklet on it. I'm doing a teaching on it, because when we shift it correctly, all of a sudden there's a natural flow. But you have to take this stuff by force. You've got to take it by force. Now, ladies, some of you are this is just gonna mess your whole world up, but it's okay. But you have to take it by force. Your job, ladies, was never to labor. You were never designed to labor. Work and labor are two totally different things. You were never designed to labor. You were designed to be served. You were designed to be served. But here's the other side. Men were never designed to work. Men were designed to create work. So if a man does not have a plan, does not have a purpose, is not connected to God in that way, what he ends up doing is trying to labor to fulfill something that a woman has told him he had to do. Are you following what I'm saying? But you have to take it back. Now I'm just going down that rabbit hole. I'm coming back. So now you go to your physical. What is your physical? Those of you got your notes, you already know it, but I'm going to read for those that don't have. Physical. These are things that you believe are physically true about you. Somewhat connected to the mental, primarily connected to the external perception of your reality. So physically, because I have gray hair, I'm old. Because I'm tall, I play basketball. These are things that you assume because physically you've been controlled and your thoughts have been controlled. And what your thoughts have done is said, okay, your thought is what is here is your reality. This desk is reality because it sits here. But if I push a button, the desk goes down and the reality changes. You follow me? But if I push the button up, the reality changes. So what you have to realize is what you're doing now is putting yourself in a position where you physically believe what they've taught you is right. So now, check it out. People get knee replacements, hip replacements, don't have a problem with it, not mad about it, don't feel like you're somebody less than somebody else. My knees don't get replaced, my hips don't get replaced. I do not, Pastor William Dallas, William N. Dallas II, I do not accept pain in my body. If there's pain in my body, I focus on the pain and getting the pain out of my body. I don't leave people around me that do a whole bunch of negative talking. If you talk too much negative, we're not going to talk very often. There are not a whole lot of people around me. I don't have a whole lot of buddies hanging out with me. Why? Because my job is to make sure we stay at a different level. Everybody that's a part of the mentoring class, everybody that's a part of the Higher Standards organization, the job for me is to get you to experience a level of the spirit that you've never seen before. If I can squeeze in an experience in life, I'm going to. Why? I cannot let you start telling me, well, you know, you're getting old in your knees. I don't even let people say that to me. If you really realize how many times you talk yourself out of your power, how many times you validate mental limitations, you talk yourself out of your power. God, girl, I'm just getting old. And your brain is going, yes, here we go. You're getting old. Let's make sure we put all things in position for you to get old. Do you know that some of you, follow me here. Some of you, and this is physical, some of you get a headache. I'm about to teach you something. Some of you get a headache and you take a Tylenol. Once you take the Tylenol, and I'm going to share, this has happened to everybody that's ever taken Tylenol. Once you take a Tylenol, almost immediately your head stops hurting. Now, how many has that happened? You took the Tylenol and immediately your head stopped hurting. Come on, tell me yes on the comments. How many, and I'm looking up, who has taken a Tylenol and almost immediately your head stopped hurting? Okay, now, there you go, yep, there we go. Now, let me help you out. You ready? You ready for this? In order for something to go into your system, it first That's right. That's true. But in order for something to go through your system, follow me, y'all gonna love this. In order for something to go through your system, it has to first go into your digestive system. Means it has to be broken down into your body. Y'all gonna love this. It means it has to go into your stomach, it has to break down. That's why they have some capsules that have a coating on them so that they can get into your stomach, and some gel caps which work a lot better because they dilute first. After it dilutes, hear me now, after it dilutes, we're going to time this. After it dilutes, and it takes about 5 minutes for it to dilute. Then it has to be broken down. That's another 5 minutes, okay? After it's broken down, it then has to flow into your body. After it flows into your body, it now has to find where the pain is. So it now has to send a signal to your brain and then release chemicals into your body. Ladies and gentlemen, that takes 20 to 30 minutes. So the Tylenol pill that you took that you thought instantly stopped your headache wasn't the pill at all. It was the fact that you believed so much in the pill that God saw when you took the pill, he answered the question that you presented through the pill. So the pill never did it. It was the Spirit of God that did it because you believed in the pill. Now imagine this. Imagine had you believed in God before you even took the pill. Imagine had you fooled your body and said, I'm going to take this pill, and you know it's not Tylenol. Your body doesn't know it's not Tylenol. And then you took a sugar pill and you said, this is the pill that's going to heal me. And you took the pill and your head instantly hurt. And all you took was a sugar pill. All you took was an apple pill. It happened because you believed so strongly in the ability of an outside force that you brought that force in, and your faith that it exists came the power. You healed yourself. Everything in this system right now that you live in is conditioned by your power. It is not the power of the Tylenol. It is not the power of especially with cancer. It is not. The power that you are operating in is the power of your belief system. So it has to dilute your mind. So what just took place for most of you are going, wow, I've been living a belief system that brings healing to my body for years. Because I've been taking. Why? Because there are some of you that'll get a migraine headache and go begin to sit down and quiet yourself. Let me help you out. Migraines don't go away. You send them away. Why? Because you begin to battle that thing at a level that is deeper than your physical and stronger than your mental. Is spiritual. So the physical part of this is, what do you believe about yourself? What do you really believe about yourself? Some of you are in relationships and all of a sudden he just up and left because you go, I cannot believe he just up and left. I can't believe. And even if you're not married, I can't believe she up and left. But what you don't understand, are you ready for this? You were powerful enough that your power that you don't want to tap into is seen by the person that left you. They could not deal with the level of power. They couldn't control you, so they had to leave. But your emotion, because the next thing is your emotions and your physical begin to tell you, I need this, I need sex, I need to be hugged, I need to be all those things. But those things are secondary to you being received for your power. So what happens to a lot of my sisters is husbands have to come in and respect my ministry. No, he does not. A man does not have to come in and respect your ministry and respect your calling. What a man has to come in and do is set a pattern for your life. And when he sets that pattern for your life, you are to follow the pattern. Not without question. You can ask questions. Why? Because the most powerful being is God. So when you begin to walk on that pattern, ladies, what happens is the pattern or the path then becomes powerful. Hallelujah. When you get on the pattern, when you get on the path, it becomes powerful. But as long as you question the path and try to make it selfish about your physical and try to figure out which is submission and which is not submission, the path never becomes powerful. But because you don't know that you're powerful, you accept less than powerful people in your life. But you categorize it by a less than powerful tall man, a less than powerful rich man, a less than powerful well-endowed man. But you don't care about the power. You just have switched to physical, which is the second limitation. So your second limitation has gone, you are a less than powerful good man, because you have never presented your power. What you presented is your physical. And what your physical does is make him think that it's something that he has to deal with physically, which means something he has to control. Men try to control physical stuff. They never try to control physical stuff. It's Sunday. It's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to preach. It's Sunday. But you got to take it by force. I got to get y'all to understand. I have seen the dead raised. I've seen blinded eyes. I've seen people heal. I've seen God take a relationship that was the worst relationship in the world, and I've seen him turn it around into a great relationship. I've seen God do this stuff. You are more see, you have to realize the power that you have is the power that you operate in because you want it. When you want something bad enough, you'll go after it. But what has happened is, on the third level, let's look at spiritual limitation. Let's check that out. Spiritual limitation. These are titles, terms, and beliefs that dilute the natural flow of the Spirit in your life. Rituals, structures, penalties of sin. These are things that stop you because you don't believe them. I don't like people looking at me because you don't know who you are. And they've been taught you. I was talking to my wife. And a lot of you have seen my wife. A lot of you have seen my wife, and I think I have some pictures of her somewhere. A lot of you have seen my wife. You've laid eyes on my wife, and you know that my wife is beautiful, and you know that my wife is pretty. So a lot of you have actually seen my wife. Let me see if I can find something to show you. Those of you that have never seen my wife, let's see if I can find something to show you how beautiful this woman is, how gorgeous this specimen of a woman is. My wife is beautiful. My wife is beautiful. So let me show you this. Okay. That is Miss Dallas. That is her in her simplest form. That is my love. That is my heart. That is Miss Dallas. Okay. So in the process of it, Miss Dallas and I are talking. Miss Dallas and I are talking. And while we're talking, I say to my wife, you are beautiful. I tell her that she's beautiful all the time. I say, here's what I need you to do. Every woman on here, I need you to do this. It's going to sound crazy. It's okay. But I need you to do this. I said, I need you to stand in the mirror. No makeup on, no nothing. And I need you to say this to yourself. I need you to say that I'm beautiful. And my wife said, I said, say it until you're uncomfortable. She said, baby, I'm uncomfortable just hearing you tell me to say it. You are so conditioned to a systematic beauty system that you don't even see the beauty that's inside yourself. You are so, and I'm the same way. We are so conditioned to a systematic beauty system. Men, you got to wear a beard. Why? Beard's the thing. Men, you got to have hair. Well, hair's the thing. So you got the hair club clinic. You have all these things because you are a part of a systematic beauty system. Try this. And I know a lot of you are not going to do it because you are so uncomfortable with your beauty that to stand in the mirror with nobody else in the room and nobody else seeing you, nobody else around you, it becomes nerve-wracking. It is scary. And there is nobody else there. Nobody's judging you. But when you begin to say it the first day, say it until you're uncomfortable, you're going to begin to see that there are stretch marks and that your teeth are different and your eyes are different and your hair is different. And each one of those things that you address are spiritual delusions that try to stop you from hearing that God said you were fearfully and wonderfully made and you are beautiful in his sight. So you are now turned off because conditioning over the years has defined what you should consider beauty to be. Happens to me as well. Happens to men as well. So now you dress and you put your tights on, and you don't dress in complimenting of your body. You dress to make sure you look like everybody else. So you got the tight things on and the girdles on and the nails on and the hair on. Why? You have not allowed your basic foundation of beauty to take place. But honey, oh, okay. Sweetie, if you ever took the time to take the natural you and enhance the natural you and realize that you're beautiful, well, I'm just shy. Okay, that's okay. Shy is all right. But you're beautiful. Rituals, wives' tales, thought processes. You have to take this stuff back. They need you, ladies. Okay, I'll get into that a little bit later. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into it today. Let's go to Hebrews 12:11. Let's go to Hebrews 12:11. All right. Let's go to Hebrews 12:11. Let's get into this thing. Okay. Because I want you to understand something. My pages are sticking together. Thank you, people that bought me a new Bible. Hebrews 12:1. Hebrews 12:1. Now, Hebrews 12:1. Because here's what has to happen. Here's what has to take place. You got to take your mind back. You got to take your mind back. And what has happened is things have taken your mind so much to the point that you have become in league and you have become an ally to your own destruction. Yeah. They say wear leggings. I don't care how big you are. You try to squeeze your tail in those leggings. Why? Because this false perception of who you are has gotten so strong that it's become a spirit. Now I'm going to say something that's going to be a little bit uncomfortable and some people are going to get mad about it. But it's okay. I actually don't care because I'm going to make you free whether you want to or not. Anytime your mental image is contrary to your spiritual image, you have a spirit. Now, it may not be a demon. It may not be what you think it is. But anytime your physical image is in contrary to your spiritual image, that means you're walking around the spirit. That's a delusion. Your mind is under strong delusion. You were created a way. Build and enhance that way. And I mean that in the simplest form, follow me, to the most advanced form. The simplest form is you think that you're ugly because everybody said you were ugly when in actuality they were just jealous and they didn't want you to feel as pretty as you actually were, and they wanted you to feel as ugly as their insides were. As simple as that, or as advanced as the fact that you think that you are the wrong gender. Nope, not gonna blink. Right here. Here I am. When your mind tells you anything contrary to your spirit, you are delusional. Now, I know delusional sounds like a punch to the face, but it's not. A lot of us are there. I'm there, you're there, we're there. We create delusions. That's why the scripture says, cast down imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Beards don't make a man handsome. Beards have been conditioned to make us handsome. Bald hair, it doesn't make us handsome. What makes a person beautiful is that which is within inside of you. You know you've met that young lady or that young man that is not naturally beautiful. That is not the person you would probably put on the front of a conditional magazine, but there's something about them. There's something about, you've seen couples together and it looks like, how in the world did he get her or she get him? And you look at why? Because there's something greater in your spirit, but your spirit has been diluted and it defines you to control you. You need to look in the mirror and go, I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I don't care if you're a size 2, if you're a size 42. It doesn't matter. You've got to take that back. Now, am I saying walk around with your hair all over your head? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is your foundation has to be taken back. Because some of you, God wants you on television. Some of you, God wants you online showing and talking. Some of you, God is going, there are people that are bound that need to see your face. But you're so shy because you think that you don't look pretty every day until you are uncomfortable. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Your spirit is going to shift. And it's going to attach to that thing because you've been conditioned by repetition. It's going to shift. And when it shifts, something inside of you is going to begin to feel lighter, and it's going to make you feel free because you're carrying the obligation of man's beauty every day. You're carrying the obligations of man's wealth. You're carrying the obligation of religiosity. You're carrying the rituals of things that are there to control you, to dilute what your spirit is trying to tell you. I don't care what you look like to man, but to me, you're okay. So what happens is you begin to put things on your body, put things on your face, put things in your hair. All of these things is to hide from the true person that you are in the spirit. It's time to take it by force. It's amazing to me. I just showed you Mrs. Dallas. And she's everywhere. I keep pictures of Mrs. Dallas everywhere. Everywhere she goes, I make sure there's a picture of her somewhere and around me somewhere. Because I love this woman. I think she's just the most beautiful thing in the world. And when you look at her, you begin to see her as this really beautiful thing. And when you walk, now look at this. How could you in any ways in your right mind think that this is not beautiful? On all standards. That's her natural hair. That's her natural skin. On all standards. That's Kendra Dallas. But someone, somehow, some way, in the back of the world said that she was not beautiful. And because they said that, it scarred her. Remember I said leaving a mark. It scarred her to the level that she never sees what we all see. And that was good. I appreciate that, and I'm glad you enjoyed that. So let's get down and dirty. Ready? I took my glasses off because, well, I'm not going to say I can't see because I still see everything I want to see. But I'm going to tell you some things. So you ready? Let's get down and dirty. Okay. Hey, right now, every one of you have gone to some type of church, and I said, hey, you shouldn't go to church and that kind of stuff. And what has happened is you've been given the obligation that you're not really serving God unless you're going to a church. So now you are a part of the Higher Standards organization, and I have a big challenge by determining whether we want to have a Sunday service or whether we want to stay online. But I know we physically need to be together because society has made us feel that social media is actually social when it is not. It is separate. What is segregational? It is segregational. So I watch you, and I watch you hold on to these little parts of yourself religiously so that you can feel alive and feel like you're important, or you feel like somebody cares about you, or you feel like you are valuable. I've been there, so I'm not saying anything to step. If it steps on your toes, it was not intentional. So what happens is you now want everybody to know that you can prophesy, pray, preach, whatever those things were, because you were brought into a system, a religious system, that made you feel that you were living a categoric life, meaning that category 1 was a new member, category 2 was a Christian, and you stayed at a Christian, and you went through the trials and tribulations, and you picked up your cross, and you did all these things. And so what's happening to you, or us, what happened to me, is I thought that if I did not recognize myself as Pastor Dallas or Prophet Dallas or Apostle Dallas, I was disrespecting the call of my life. When I realized the call of my life had nothing to do with the title of my name. It had to do with the rituals, or it had to do with the system of my spirit. So you didn't have to call me anything. Why? Because in my mind, I was trying to establish a level of respect that made people honor me, not the Spirit of God, but honor me. So when I was around, I needed my name on places. I needed people to see me. Why? Because you wanted to be honored instead of God. Now, there is nothing wrong with that because God gave you a level of glory. But here's where you have the challenge. The challenge is you want everybody to know that you know it. You want everybody to know that you know it. I minister to people. I say things to people that God says to me and I say to them. And what happens, they start, well, yeah, I know. Okay. But I'm going to tell you a little story that happened to me. I used to work on business plans and I was talking to this young man and he taught me the greatest lesson in the world. And some of you have heard it before. I said to him, I want a business plan. Now, in an attempt to make my business plan cheaper, I explained to him, well, I know how to write business plans myself. I know about the perspectives. I know about that. And he kind of sit there and looked at me like I'm looking at you. He said, have you written a business plan in the last couple of months? I said, no. He said, do you write business plans professionally? I said, no. He said, then what did what you just say have to do with me? So I'm telling people stuff. Well, I know that. And the reason you say you know it 9 times out of 10 is you never want to feel like somebody knows something that you don't know. And number 2, you want to feel like you're important. And I simply let people say it. Oh, I know, I got to. The Lord showed me. What are you doing with it? Have you taken the ammunition and begin to take back that the enemy has taken from you? Because he is creeping into your quiet areas. He's creeping into your weakness areas and beginning to say to you, you're not worthy. And so what you do is the people that you should be saying that to, ladies, you get one man, he treats you like a dog, and then you go to the next man and you treat that man like a dog, like the man treated you. Instead of going, the person that treated me like a dog, I'm going to treat them back like a dog. But you were so afraid that maybe one day this thing was going to work out. Christians, making sure you don't say the wrong thing because you think God's going to strike you down or get you because you didn't say the right thing or pray the right prayer. That's not the God you serve. Listen to me. Everything I'm teaching you is not dependent on you being a good person or a bad person. There are systems that are put into place that cause things to happen in the spirit. And when you understand the systems, good, bad, or indifferent, those systems produce life. That's why there are people right now that are wealthy that are doing all kind of crazy stuff. Why? Because the system works. But what has happened is you've had a pendulum placed over you by religion. You're either a good Christian or you're a bad Christian. You're a good slave or a bad slave. Why? Because you have to serve a system. If you don't serve the system, then there's something wrong. I had this happen to me while I was on vacation. Messed me up. And I know some of you are going to think it's crazy. But guess what? What you're learning here is not being taught everywhere. Talking to a young man while we're on vacation. Thank God for my wife. I really had a wonderful time. While we're on vacation. Talking to a young man while we're on vacation. He says to me, I say to him, I said, son, do you go to church? He says, yes, I do. I said, okay. I said, do you know the Lord? Have you been saved? He said, I'm in my last class. What? What? He said, I'm taking my last class. He said, in a couple of classes, I'll have my total restoration back. I'm stunned. I'm going, what? He said he was going to take his last class. And once he finished his last class, then he would be ready for salvation. I put my fork down. I put my food down. I turned around and began to look at this young man and said, listen, bro, hold on. I said, do you love the Lord? He said, yes, with everything that's in me. I said, are you willing to follow him no matter what the circumstance or situation in your life? Yes, I will. And I said, do you believe and do you understand that what you have done in your life in the past was in your past and you are forgiving and repentant for those things that you've done in your past? He said, yes, sir. And I said, and you won't let go of God no matter what the situation is. He said, yes. I said, welcome to salvation. Welcome to being born again. And I explained to the difference in being born again and being saved. I said saved is a ritual that you follow through, and born again. And I'm sitting here watching this go on and going, that is the craziest thing that I have ever seen, because I'm watching these people believe that a ritual will get you connected to God at the level that God wants to connect to you. Listen, if you can't take your title off and talk to God like Jim, Mike, William, Kendra, if you are living a life trying to be a title and not trying to be a child of God, you've been taught segregation. You've been taught don't be amongst them, don't be around them. Listen, honey, there's some things going on outside of your church and your church world that have been taught to you incorrectly. You are not assigned to a building. Can you hear me? You are not assigned to a building. You are not assigned to a pastor. You're assigned to a level of teaching that takes you to the next level. Some of you will be with me until Christ comes. That's what God has done. But some of you are here to get you a hamburger, put it in your car, and keep driving. I don't have a problem with that. My only challenge I have is get what you're supposed to get, and don't let what you think somebody said about something else stop you from moving. That young man, if I had not gone to Jamaica, and if that was the only reason I went to Jamaica, it was a good trip. But I got to get you past the physical hindrances. I got to get you past the mental hindrances, and I got to get you past the spiritual hindrances. God is speaking to you, but he's not speaking to you if you did a bad thing or a good thing. He's speaking to you to say, take over, take the stuff back. Whatever you feel is hindering you, take it back. In the mirror, beautiful, wonderful. I'm great. I'm wonderful. You're going to feel crazy. Why? You're supposed to. You've been conditioned that you're nothing. You got to take the nothing back. Side note. You're not supposed to be working like a Hebrew making bricks with no sand. There is something inside of you that is supposed to help you supply your needs. Why? You're not a slave. I talked to some people I did a TikTok the other day. And when I did the TikTok, I asked the question, I said, how many of you would like me to do a class called Beyond the Vision Board or Vision Board Chronicles? There is nobody right now that God has not given you enough of a vision that you can do everything God has told you. If there is a lack of supply, it is not a lack on your part. It's a lack on your knowledge. Well, it is a lack on your part, but it's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of knowledge. So if it's a lack of knowledge, what you need is knowledge. So in the vision board, I'm going to teach you 5 things that will help you to bring your vision to pass. Those of you that are part of the mentoring class, y'all already got it, so it's not a big deal. But there's some other things I'm going to teach you because there's some systems that you need to learn with business. But you have to take it back. You have to take it by force. So that means that every hindrance, you got to be in that mirror every day. Be in that mirror every day. You got to be in the prayer, doing those 5 things every day. Everything, you have to start doing it. You've got to stop explaining why you don't want something and explaining why something you don't like and start doing it. I'm supposed to release 3 books before Monday, which is tomorrow. Let me tell you the power of the power of your spirit. Let me tell you the power of your spirit and the power of your human spirit. There's the spirit and there's the human spirit. So let me tell you the power. So, and if we take the tragedy out of it, let's kill the tragedy out of it. Do you know that in the time when there was slavery, a man would work from sun up to sundown with no break and little water, and he was able to do it? Like I said, take the tragedy out of it. That means that humanly speaking, right now, humanly speaking, you can do things that you don't know, but you've been conditioned out. See, in that time, he was working till they told him to stop. After that, they were freed. They worked until the job was done. Then the next generation worked until it was time to get off. Then the next generation worked until they didn't feel like doing it no more. And the present generation doesn't work at all. That means that right now, if I told you I will give you $1 billion if you take a toothbrush and clean all the floors that are in the gym. Your ability to do that is hinged only on the fact of how you feel about it mentally. Either it's worth it to you or not worth it to you, which means you could do it. The only reason you can't do it is because it's not valuable to you. So if you got diabetes, if you got any of those things, you're walking in either a level of fear or a level of lack of value. Only two categories. You either afraid that once you finish it, he's not going to give you the money, or you are in a level of information that believes that you can't get it done. So that means, why are you still dealing with this sickness? Either fear or lack of information. Why are you still walking in poverty? It's either fear or lack of information. Why you have crazy relationships? Either fear or lack of information. You're either fearful of their ignorance to the power. Why you walking and the kids are all over the place? It's either fear or lack of information. The key becomes kill the fear, get the information, take it back by power. Because somewhere somebody has pushed a button and said, if you do this, you will lose. I will say this all the time. The world needs a hero and a boogeyman. Look at your life. You'll see the hero. You'll see the boogeyman. The hero will always look like he's suffering because of the villain. He will always seem like he's suffering because the villain is still like he takes. That's what superhero stories were all about. Marvel's whole universe was all about that. Thanos came in, destroyed everything, but the heroes came back. See, that's how you look at God and the enemy. You think that the enemy is going to start tearing up stuff and then God's going to come as a hero. That's not the way it is, baby. He can't take nothing that you don't allow him to take. This ain't a movie. The hero always wins. But you got to realize the enemy doesn't have power to even come in comparison to the hero. You got to take it by force. By force. I'm going to have to do this again. I'll probably talk about it on Monday. You have to take it by force. So when I was telling you to go to this, let's go to, I didn't forget Hebrews. I did not forget Hebrews. I just needed to share that part. Let's look at Hebrews. He said, wherefore seeing that we're compassed about by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Basically, stop carrying everybody else's weight. Not only stop carrying everybody else's weight, stop turning your life into a weight. I'm going to just wait on God. I'm going to just wait for the Lord. I'm going to wait. Do something. I'm thirsty. Can you see this cup, y'all? Can y'all see this cup? I'm thirsty. My wife did some stuff on the cup. You see that? My wife did that. Kendra did that. For those of you who didn't see. See that? Kendra did that on my cup. It says Pastor William Dallas, but it's so fancy. I have a cup. Inside of that cup is water. Inside of that water are the nutrients necessary for me to be quenching of my thirst. And not only is my thirst quenched, it's the necessary things I need to help my body to saturate and my joints to move. Here's how we do it. Lord, I thank you for this water. God, let this water heal my body. Let it do something. Let it cleanse me. God, I'm so tired of living like this. God, heal my body. Use the water, God, to heal me. In Jesus' name, amen. God, I'm so thirsty. I'm so thirsty. Lord gonna send me some water soon. He gonna send me some water. Soon the Lord gonna send me some water. Give me some water. My body and my joints are gonna be better. Because I know God can do it. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. God is good all the time and all the time. This is how you guys believe. Instead of going to say, I take the water, I get the water, it ain't about a whole bunch of prayer. Go do what's necessary to get this thing done. Go make the change. Go stand in the mirror. Go make the change. If you're afraid of the law, learn everything you know about the law. If you're afraid of standing in front of people, learn everything about standing in front of people. If you're afraid you're going to be poor, learn everything. Take this thing by force. Stop letting the mental limitations, the physical limitations, and the spiritual limitations stop you. You're not that person. If they leave, bruh, let her go. If she leaves, sis, let her go. Why? Whom God puts together, let no man put asunder. Don't let anybody separate it. It's the way we live. It's the way we live. It's the way we live. Stop living behind this belief that you are a terrible person. Living behind this belief that you are less than what you're supposed to be. And begin to live in the belief that God is worthy and everything that God does is great. So, for those of you that did not know I went away from my birthday, here's a couple of things to kind of show you what happened on my birthday. Am I right? So, check that out. We went scuba diving. And we saw this under the water. And we saw this. And we did this. That's a jellyfish right there. And we did this. Saw our little GoPros in our hands. Yeah. That's where we were. So, for everybody that wished me a happy birthday, thank you very much. That is where my wife took me for my birthday. I appreciate you guys. I thank God for you guys. I thank God for everything that you've done. Every place that has happened, every situation that has taken place. I thank you very much for that. But I need you to take back. I'm ready for another level. And somebody's got a headache right now. It's gone. I'm ready for another level. And you should be ready for another level. But you have to take it. For every point that there's a fear, every point there's a mental, physical, or spiritual limitation, behind that limitation is what you have need of. Behind that limitation, hallelujah. Behind that limitation, hallelujah. Behind that limitation is what you have need of. I need to say this while I'm here. There are several of you right now that are actually pushing the envelope. You feel like that this is the end for you. You feel like you don't know what's going to happen. You're going, God, I need you to move right now. And I heard the Spirit of God say that He's moving, but He needs you to move too. He needs you to begin to move forward. Stop letting people. And these people that I'm talking about, they're carrying family around. They're more concerned about family than they are about the movement. Yeah, these people are carrying family around. Your family. Listen, I told those of you that have children, you're a parental advisor. Well, what if my kids are still in the house? Then you become the parent. That means you control what happens, not because of how they feel. Society tries to take away the authority of training a child up in the way they should go. It's one of those things about the New World Order I was teaching about. And so stop letting those things pressure you. Listen, this is a walk, and I'm hearing this. This is a walk between you and God. It is not between you and how everybody feels about you. Take care of you. Take care of you. Take back what the enemy tried to take from you. He tried to take your health. I hear him. He's trying to take your health. And the way he's doing that is through stress. So what happens is pain will happen, and that will kick you into this next place. We are going on a teaching. Those of you that are part of the mentoring group, we're going to go on a teaching. We're going to start in the New World Order. We're going to set your life in order to see things happen in this system. You need to know this system. You don't need to know the system of the past. You need to know this system. So I'm going to teach you this system, because this system is the system that's going to create greatness for you. You need to learn this system. So those of you that are trying to move, businesses are about to be released, and God's going to give you ideas. Please keep writing. You need to understand this system. I got to write it down because He's saying it to my mind. You need to understand this system. So I'm going to teach you this system, and you're going to take back what was yours according to what this system has denied you. Yeah. Houses, I see houses being released. Really, really, houses being released. Children, begin to pray over them. Stop nagging them. Give them rules and regulations and pray over those children. I need you to physically go lay hands on them and say, I love you and God is covering you. I love you and God is covering you. I love you and God is covering you. And believe that God is covering. Don't just say, oh yeah, I love you, but God love you and God is covering you. They're going to act like they don't hear you, but hear me. Every day, I love you, God has covered you. I love you, God is covering you. And as things begin to work out in their lives, you are just telling them, well, that's because of God. You've got to give them a spiritual concept. They got to get a spiritual balance, or they will not understand what God is doing. Take back your children. Those of you that are sick, hands, we're going to do a lay. I was going to teach about this at the conference. Start laying hands on those spots and go, God, you got this. You lay hands as a point of contact. Say, God, my hand is your hand. The number 5 represents the hand of God. So lay all 5 fingers on wherever you. Right now, if it's this is going to sound crazy. It's okay. Go lay hands on your wallet. Say, God, give me ideas. I don't want to live in this place anymore. Give me witty ideas and write them down and do them. Don't just write them down. Do them. Learn this system. This system is about to put you beyond where you were before. So lay hands on your children. Lay hands on your body. In that place, no. My wife's leg was hurting. I said, no. And she said it so loud it scared me. But you begin to take this stuff back by force. Lay hands on it. Why? Your hands are just a point of contact. They aren't magical, but you got to get your mind to realize that something belongs to you. So when you lay hands on something, you're saying, this is mine. You can't do what you want to do with it. When you're laying hands on your children, you're saying, these are mine. You can't do what you want to do with it. So when you lay hands, you begin to speak into their lives. God's got you. You're going to be all right. Mama, you don't. This ain't time for conversation. Hear what I've got to say to you, child. When you begin to lay hands on the things that pertain to your finances, your wallet, your bank account, all those things, you're saying, this is mine and it's never supposed to be lacking. So, I don't care what the bank says. I don't care what your friends say. This is mine. It's not supposed to be lacking. When there's healing, you're laying claim. The hand of God is going. You're laying claim to your body. This is my body. This does not belong to medicine. This does not belong to doctors. This does not belong to any man that's not married to me, any woman that's not married to me. So you can't claim nothing until you've made the appropriate connection, and that's not going to happen. This is my body, and my body is going to do what I say and not going to do what everybody else tells me to do, because it's mine. So you take God's hand and you put your hand in God's hand and you place your hands on those things and take it back. How do I get that into your brain? How do I get that into your mind? How do I get this old mindset out of your brain and get you into the new mindset? I don't care if they put you in jail, if they put you in the hospital, put you under the house. You are here because you made it. You beat it. You made it through. Stop letting this stuff stop you. And I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to William Dallas too. We put trust in things that hope. Soon as that insurance policy come through, yeah, I'm going to be ready. Soon as my cousin bring him his money back. No cousin, no insurance policy, no nothing. It's God. God, give me how to fix this. I don't need people to try to hinge my life on being controlled by them because you've been controlled for so long. Do it for me, God. Do it for me. I wish I could take your fears away. I wish I could make you feel the freedom necessary to do what you need to do. Get out there. Get into the thick of things. You need to learn this system. We need to learn this system. You need to learn this system. Okay. I've gone past my 11. I was supposed to be here for an hour, but I was here for a little more than an hour. D-Boom, put up the Cash App. For those of you that want to give a donation into what we're doing, we have a Cash App. Do it. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, it's okay. God takes care of us. But some of you feel like you need to pray. Some of them need to be a blessing. Do it. Okay, that's done. I believe that you are prepared for something better. I believe that there is more to this than just the opportunity. I believe that God has opened up your world. Allow him to open up everything about you because he loves you. He loves you. Take it by force, people. Take it by force. It's yours. Don't let people control it. It's yours. Take it by force. Okay? Now, as we do always, if you can go to TikTok or Instagram, we can answer any questions. I normally, one Sunday, I'm going to do question and answer. One day, I'm going to do questions and answers and just do it just like that. And we're going to let it stay that way. All right, people, I love you guys. I really do. I really, 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 really do. Like I said, go to TikTok and Instagram. We'll answer your questions. If you have a question, probably go sit on the porch for a minute. If you have questions, comments, concerns, I keep these nimble. I keep these within an hour so people can listen to them over and over and over again. So over and over again, over and over again, do it. Take it by force, people. I love you. I am Pastor Dallas. This is the Higher Standards Organization. For everybody that's a part of it, thank you so much for being there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. Keep praying for me because I need it. This is not a small task, and it's not a small task on my body and on my life. So make sure you keep me in your prayers and make sure that you keep God at the forefront of your life. All right, I'm Pastor Dallas. You've just been taken to a higher standard. Peace.